Hello and welcome to Board Stupid. My name's Wayne.
And I'm Matt.
And this is our top 5 card games. Now, card games come in a variety of shapes and sizes, so we had to put some rules and parameters around this particular list. And here's the challenge for you for later. Card game means no central board, no personal player board, anything like that, and absolutely minimal like extra bits, tokens, like at a push, tokens is fine. If you're thinking like models or bits or bag thingies or anything like that, I'm saying
no,
that ain't a card game.
Only if aesthetics.
Maybe maybe there's
Only
a clue
if
to what you've got in your
aesthetics,
in your list there. So I'll try to keep as strict as I can to that. And with that, then let's dig in to our top 5. My number 5.
What you got?
One of my favourite games ever, which is Sushi Go, which I have to hold here because the tin falls apart. Why do you publishers put games in tins? It's a terrible
I love
idea.
the tin.
You like a
game.
tin?
Yeah.
I think I disagree on that. So with Sushi Go, fantastic game. It's pick and pass. It's card drafting. Very, very simple and very straightforward, and it's that distilled down to its bare minimum. You look at your cards, you pick one, you pass them on. With the idea being to create sets of different cards to score different points. You're going to be creating different types of sushi, as you can imagine with Sushi Go, and all of the different types of sushi will score in different ways. It's tremendously simple, tremendously fun. You can teach it to pretty much
Everyone,
anybody.
yeah.
It's
Yes.
like a real beginner-friendly game. It's absolutely tremendous. And the artwork is really inviting, really unique, very cutesy, beautiful little game. Sushi Go, cheap and cheerful as well. So
It is. It's one of those like could be Christmas stocking filler. Yeah.
could be. Did we put it in the stocking fillers list?
No, I don't
remember.
think so. So.
Well, if you want to double check, you can check up here
video,
somewhere.
yeah.
There'll be a link for the rest of the stocking fillers. So
Yeah.
go check that out. So that's my number 5, Sushi Go.
My number 5 instead is Boss Monster.
Okay.
I really love this game, and first of all, because of all the art that has been used. If you old as us, you will recognize that
Pretty
this
old.
was like what the NES system cartridge was, like
That's right.
the old Nintendo one. And Boss Monster is a card game. It's a tile placement card game where you're basically building your dungeon. You play as a monster, one of like a famous monster. It could be like a vampire, it could be like a werewolf. You're building your dungeon. You're luring the heroes in, and you want to kill the heroes. So it's basically a card drafting game. You pick cards from a pile. You need to build your dungeon. You can swap cards, and it's a 2 to 4 players. So each player will be a different monster, and you will have different power depending on the monster. And what you're trying to do is literally kill as many heroes as you can.
Love it. Do you know what? I actually freaking love the art design of it.
It is,
This whole
yeah.
like 8-bit
8-bit.
NES like artwork. That's absolutely delightful.
Very much the gameplay as a video game style. You got that feeling.
Yeah.
I really love this game. It got a few expansions. Definitely my number 5, Boss Monster.
My number 4 is a Spiel des Jahres winner, so you can never go wrong, and it is the classic ever.
Of course.
The Eternal Hanabi, which I think I'll put on almost any list that involves cards, co-op, something like that. It's just a tremendous,
It must be.
tremendous game.
Yeah, it must be on every list.
If you don't have this in your collection, firstly, why? Secondly, go buy it. It's so cheap as well. I've had success with almost every sort of type of person with this. People that have never played board games, people that have played board games, and the goal of the game is simple. You are trying to cooperatively do some set collection. You're trying to collect in ascending order colours and numbers. So numbers 1 to 5, and you have them on the table. But the trick of the game is you never get to see your own cards, right?
Yes, and that's the very cool things about the game.
Yeah, you flip your hand of cards around so you only see the back of your cards and you can see the fronts of everyone else's. And there's limited communication in this game. And this game is played best, trust me on this, when you play it as strict as possible. You can only give a piece of information about the number of cards in someone's hand or the colour.
Yeah.
That's it. And you can only do that a certain amount of times. You have to spend tokens to do
Yeah.
it. So your little token, you spend it. Once you spend it, you can give them a clue. And you'll work together to try and get these cards out in the right order. If you get it wrong, you lose a life. If you get it wrong a few times, you lose all your lives, and that's
And
you
that's
go
it
bust.
for the game.
You go bust. It's great. It's very forgiving. The only thing you're trying to do is get a high score.
Yep.
So it's super simple, really easy, really light. Great game with almost anybody.
It does, yeah. It's one of those games that comes out on the table a lot of time because
really
it's just
is.
great. You can play while having a chat, or you can not having a chat about the game, but you can play while having a drink,
Having a
or
coffee or something.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's that light side game that actually works for everyone. Yeah.
It has one of those, I described this as kind of an eternal design, where you play something for the first time and you think, why isn't this game 200 years old?
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
the game is so
Yeah.
clever, you think, why did no one think of these
Yeah.
mechanisms before? It's just so simple as turn the cards around.
Yeah.
Genius. So that's my number 4, Hanabi.
For my number 4, we actually stay in East Asia.
Very nice.
After sushi, after Hanabi,
Sushi Go and Hanabi.
we go to Japan with Anamikoji. Anamikoji is an area control card game where you're basically trying to win the favor of geishas, and you're doing that like trying to give them as many gifts, their preferred gift, as many as possible, and you battling against your opponent to win that area control. So it's kind of like you need to win the favor of the geisha by controlling the territory, controlling how many gifts you give
how
into
many
that.
gifts you give them, that's
and
right. And that's your influence, isn't it? So yeah.
it's a very cool mechanics that you got 6 geisha to manage. So during your turn you need to put cards to the geisha that you want, but you need to keep an eye on where your opponents put their presence, because they're gonna have more influence on this or that geisha. So a lot of time you're trying to put a presence somewhere just to stop someone else scoring points, and the game keeps going until you got a certain. I guess you got the majority of geisha on your side, but every turn you keep playing with the same area control. So the next turn, the geisha is going to be more in favor of you or the other one, but it doesn't mean that at the end of that turn it's going to be the same. So you can win back or you can lose something else. So it's a constant territorial fight for the geisha. The artwork is spectacular. I got a soft spot for any Japanese and artwork, so this looks fantastic.
It is a beautiful, beautiful game, that's for sure. The card art is phenomenal. It's a 1 versus 1 game, right? So you're playing 2 players, plays in about 20 minutes as well, so you can get a few games of this done. Very, very clever game, brilliant game, Hanamikoji. It's a great pick, Matt, love it. Moving into number 3, and I'm diving in to The Crew. Quest for Planet 9. Where am I putting it? I'm putting it here for now.
Put it there.
Putting it there for now. So For The Crew is a fantastic game. There was a lot of buzz about this a few years ago, I believe. I want to say a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 2, maybe 3 at the most. And
I went all out when this game came
Really?
out. I was like, wow, this game is absolutely
It's
fantastic.
so
I
good.
played a lot when it came out. A lot.
It's
It was
such a good
constantly
game.
on my table.
It's such a good game. 3 to 5 players, and when you've got a minimum player count of 3, and you've got cards involved, probably a trick-taking game. You're right, it is a trick-taking game.
Yeah.
But the twist here, it's a cooperative trick-taking game. So you are working together to win various tricks based on the challenge that the game gives you, right? Because the game has, I think, 20 different challenges or something?
20,
There's a bunch
20
of
to
different
30, I
challenges,
can't remember, something like that, with different scenarios, all in space, so it's a little bit team that I really like that
which is
one.
really nice.
And each one will have a different rules, so the game has its own rules, but each scenarios will be adding or removing something from the game.
It's absolutely brilliant. And again, it utilizes limited communication in a clever way.
Yes.
So you can say, for example, that you have like the highest card of a certain type or the lowest card, or that you have, I think it's none of them or something in the middle. You can put your little token in the middle.
Yeah.
And they refer to different things. Absolutely spectacular, really genius design. There is a new version as well, which is Deep Sea Mission or something like
that is very similar. I haven't played personally, but I heard that the scenarios are even better. So,
okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely. But this is the original. This is the one that literally broke the market when it came out.
Really did.
It was just like everybody was super hype about this game. And they were right, because it's such a fantastic game.
Trick-taking, but cooperative, and like just getting your head around that little mind-bending change of pace and is brilliant to behold. So if you've got family, friends, your nan like trick-taking games like Hearts, maybe you want to work together, maybe try The Crew. And that is my...
Yeah, it's great. One last thing. He plays 3 to 5. However, you can play with 2 players as well.
And
there is an AI robot or mechanics that helps you filling that third spot. So even with the 2 player, it's really good because you have to manage the AI as well. There you go. It's a great game.
Good to know. Good to know.
My number 3, got a game that is actually, it's probably the most recent game in my list, 2022, and is Pagan.
Matt, you're not telling me that this is a card game?
This is a card game.
You're telling me that this is a card game?
This is a card game. There is a lot of cards, but it is a card game. There is a little piece of boards, but you don't need it to play. You don't need it to play.
Okay. I'll let you off.
Purely aesthetical. Pagan Fate of Ronoki, I guess, from Wiggold. It's a fantastic social deduction game. Again, it's a 1 versus 1. So one plays the witch and the other one plays the witch hunter. Very clever game. You will have 9 cards in the middle representing the villages, and the objective of the witch hunter is to understand who between those 9 is the witch. And the witch's then is to hide and is to try while before getting discovered to perform a ritual. And so it's gonna be like the witch hunter goes like interrogating the different villagers, while the witch tried to put like to bring them on their side and putting spells and stuff. Everything with cards. You just literally laying cards. The standard games is you got a deck for the witch and a deck for the witch hunter. With the expansion that I can't wait to play, you got a deck building experience as well. It gives you you can build your as a witch or as a witch hunter. You got extra card that you can swap and change for the one in the original one to build your own deck to make it the game as more as you like. Because for example, the witch can brew potion, or can put spells, or can create misdirection for the witch hunter, while the witch hunter can perform interrogation, can have allies that help him in the village, or he can put traps and stuff like that. So with the deck building, you can go more toward the allies deck or more towards the trap deck. So it's a fantastic game. This had a great success on Kickstarter a couple of years ago. This is actually the second reprint for the game.
It's another 2-player game, right?
Yes, it's a two-player game. This is more like toward the 45 minutes an hour. It takes a little bit longer just because it's social deduction. But I can't recommend this game more than because I really love it. So yeah, Pagan is my number 3.
Love it. So for my number 2, I'm going to do my standard flex, my standard video flex.
Go on, yes.
With Batman Love Letter, or Love Letter generally. So let's put Love Letter in this sort of bracket for my number 2. Love Letter is a legendary card game, and it kind of kick-started the micro game sort of craze trend, where you have a game that is this big in a packet or a box that is no bigger really. It's 15 cards and some tokens, and that is the entire game.
And infinite replayability.
It's just absolutely brilliant. With Love Letter, all you're really doing on your turn is drawing a card and then playing a card in front of you and resolving its effect. It's as simple as that. Each of the different cards is going to have a different ability. You will typically have a lot of cards which will help you try and guess what other people have. So in this case, that's the Batman card. There's, I think, 5 Batman cards in the deck.
Yeah.
If you play a Batman card and you guess what someone else has got in their hand, then they're out of the game. And the whole purpose of the game is be the last person in, or if you're finally left with one other person, you've both got a card left, it's who has the highest rank card. So in this edition, for example, Joker is rank 8. If you ever have to discard the Joker for any reason,
you lose.
You lose. Absolutely that. There are cards where you can compare your card with someone else, and then if your rank is higher than theirs and you do that in secret, then they lose, or vice versa. There's a bunch of different clever abilities in here.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
They made it in every shape and form. You got the Batman, you got the Marvel, you got the classic one.
Lord of the Rings,
you made it like, yeah, they made it for every single IP
Every
around
IP
there.
you
But there
can
is a reason why. And again, it's one of those like 10, 15 pounds.
Yeah, very cheap, 15
game.
quid.
So it's
Plays
for
in 10
everyone.
minutes.
You can literally play, if you got kids, you can play with kids.
Yeah.
You can play with friends. You can play with family.
That's a great
You can
point.
play 2 players, 3 players, 5 players. It's just like it works every time with everyone.
Yeah, I've had as much fun like with friends and family as I have like literally down the pub with the boys.
Yeah, or us on an airplane. Just playing on the plane.
Getting rowdy like over a few games of Love Letter. Absolutely fantastic, spectacular game. There's a little bit of deduction as you try and work out as more cards get played, because there's only 15 cards in a deck. You'll start to know who's got what, especially by the end, and you start getting some really, really fun results. It's a great, great game. Please do check out Love Letter.
For my number 2, we go more on the heavy side.
We're going heavy? Someone has to.
Yeah,
It's not me.
and
It's going to be that guy.
it's Netrunner.
You had to bring out Netrunner.
So, Netrunner, 1 versus 1 card game.
Asymmetric. Madness.
Complicated, not easy to learn, definitely impossible to master, but the depth of this game is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's an absolute classic at this point, isn't it?
It is, and it's a rare classic, because you can't buy this one anymore, unfortunately.
Who's flexing now? Who's flexing now?
However, there are some version. There is another company. We'll leave the link below, where it's a fan-based game that takes basically all the things from Netrunner, adding cards, adding more. It's what you should say about this game. It's like talking about Magic the Gathering, but in a cyberpunk way.
Yeah.
In the standard box, this is the starting set. You just have 2 decks, but then they came out with 1 million of expansion to build your own deck, to make it yours, and to play exactly as you want it.
Nice.
At the end of the day, the game again is a 1 versus 1. One plays a corporate, and the other one plays the Netrunner, so the hackers that's trying to get into the corporation servers to steal information. The Netrunner so will have a lot of things like how to get into the corporate, what the corporate will play with all of his cards face down on the table, and when the Netrunner's trying to do his run toward the server, they will flip this or that card. But a lot of time, cards will be traps for trapping the Netrunner, or it will have other effect for the Netrunner. It's a fantastic strategy, tactical card building game. Again, it's not easy. It's not for everyone.
It's a heavy one, but it's a great one. Yeah.
But it's a great one. I don't think it's definitely not on the light side. This is one of the heaviest card game that you can get. But I mean, the artwork and everything, I love it.
It's a classic. If you want something lighter than Netrunner, you can maybe check out Unrest, which has a similar,
very good. Yeah. Unrest is a
very
lighter version of Netrunner.
Yeah. The asymmetry where you're trying to hide cards face down, etc. Yeah. So maybe check that out if you want something lighter. If you are up for a deep dive, though, can't beat Netrunner. For my number one, I'm going back to my Spiel nominees because those Germans, they know a game.
Of course.
And we love our German audience, by the way. We've seen the stats. We like that you tune in. So please do continue to do that. And thank you for recommending these games to us. So my number one is Scout, which has been my favourite card game since it's come out, basically, since I was introduced to it by my friend Anthony. Thank you for doing that because I have loved it ever since then. Scout is an absolutely fantastic game. It's a hand management game. That is it. Almost pure hand management. You have a hand of cards. It's a ton of them. And you must create sets, either runs of, say, 1 to 5, like a straight, or you can create doubles or triples or quadruples. So 3 of a kind or 4 of a kind, if those of want poker parlance. But the trick of the game is you can never rearrange your hand of cards. Once you have your hand of cards, that's it. They must stay in that way. There's another beautiful trick that this game does. When someone does play cards on the table, whether it be maybe 2 of a kind or a straight of 1 to 5, the next player, if they can't beat it, they can choose to pick a card up off the table, and then they can put it anywhere in their hand to create a new straight or a new 2, 3, 4 of a kind. And even better than that, every card has 2 values. It'll have a value one way up, or it will have a value the other way up.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It's
genius.
Such a genius.
It's great design.
For such a small box, it's a lot of game just in this little fella here. We play a lot because Wayne really loves this game.
I love Scout.
But we all love it. It's I
would literally suggest this to start almost any game.
Yeah, I think we suggested these as a Christmas stocking filler.
Yeah,
we're suggesting this as a
great card game.
Great card game. Yeah. And I'm sure it's gonna come up in some other lists because it's just like
it's just brilliant.
Fantastic. And again, you teach this in 5 minutes to your 10 years old son or to 90 years old grandma.
Yeah.
And they all gonna play and have fun. And that is a great thing about this game.
It is absolutely spectacular. So please do check out Scout. You should play it because it's my number one. So please check out Scout. My number one game, my number one card game.
My number one is that.
What you got?
It was. I had this game on another list as well that we're gonna put somewhere here. The 2-player games. This was my favorite 2-player games, and is as well my favorite card game ever. And is Radland.
Radland is great.
From Roxley. Is a card butler, territorial control, hand
base destroying game.
Game in this post-apocalyptic Fist of the Northern Star / Mad Max environment. It's great. 1 versus 1. You're basically trying to destroy the other person base. You play with resources. You will be able to play cards or play specific power of the cards that you played using your resources, and of course the resource is water.
Of course,
we're talking about Mad Max environment.
It's always going to be water.
And at the start of your turn, you're gonna replenish of water, and just using like 3-4 water, depending on what powers you got. But yeah, it's you can destroy cards, you can pick up more cards, and you just play with that. It's just fantastic. All the artwork is probably one of the best artwork I ever seen. I really love. Probably that's definitely my style of thing.
Yes. Brilliant. Really great. Cyberpunk neon. it's almost
But
anime
in the desert,
style.
yeah.
Brilliant.
I think we made this comment last time, but it's like the guy in on the Mad Max Fury Road playing the guitar with the flamers attack.
It's that, yeah.
This is this game.
Yeah.
You got that silliness of this kind of things, but it just make it fantastic.
Yeah.
I cannot recommend this one more. It plays in 20 minutes, half an hour, and you can do another game. I took this one on a lot of trips as well, because I really love to play it. You play in a pub, it doesn't take too much space, and you can battle your opponent for the
drinks.
For the drinks, yes. So yeah, my number one, Radlands, my favorite card game ever.
So that was our top 5 card games, but what do you think? Have you got better card games? And we would love to know about them. Please let us know in the comments below. But remember the rules: no central board, no personal board, and absolutely minimum extra bits. Maybe a couple of tokens. That's what I'll allow you, and that's all you can have. But if you liked this video, please make sure to give us a big old thumbs up.
Yep, subscribe, whatever the button is. Again, I keep making this joke, but it's not a joke. I really don't. I can't remember
Because
what
the
it is.
camera and everything. I just don't know.
So yeah, please subscribe, please share, please follow us on our other social media. We are on Instagram, of course, Facebook, and Threads. I think now is
now on Threads.
So yes.
Please do follow us, check out the rest of our content. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you again real soon.
Ciao.